What's going on? How are you? It's all in the cards with Kathy. Thank you for joining. I see a lot of people popping in and out on TikTok, but I can't repeat all of your names. So I just want to say what's up, especially to the people who were hanging out there before we got started tonight. So it is the 4-1 podcast tonight, and I don't know what to say, but I'm just in so rare mode tonight. I don't know what to say, but we definitely gonna have a good show tonight. Only thing that I have to say is, who are you and where did you come from? 4-1 podcast. Tonight we got Alice from Read Into Something podcast tonight, Saturday, December 18th. Let's get it. I was actually looking at my mug, and the end of the Sagittarian season is December 21st. And I was told that we should pay attention, very close attention to 12, 21, 21. That is a significant day. So people just get yourself together, get ready for the ride. 12, 21, 21 is approaching very fast, and it will be the end of the Sagittarian season. So, and also tonight is a very special night tonight, and I'm so thankful that I'm in a good mood right now because it is a full moon tonight. I can't tell you that I was always feeling this way. When it was coming on strong, I felt the energy shift, and I was feeling really jacked up a couple days ago. But I'm glad that I'm feeling good right now. So 11:59, the full moon will emerge, and everybody just take advantage of that. Get that good full moon energy. Get yourself recharged because 2022 is going to be here before you know it, and we are in for a ride, especially the people who don't have it together. Like, unfortunately, we've been dealing with this for such a very long time. You understand the regular routine BS that goes on, so why get caught up? But some of us are just not woke enough. But you know, what can I say? 2022 will be here before you know it, and if you thought 21 was a trip, embrace yourself and get ready for the ride. But anyway, so I'm gonna get right on into song of the day. This is one of my favorite Christmas songs. And it's a sad song, but for some reason, it's just, I love it. And I love the original one. But when I heard Miss Patti LaBelle do it, I said, man, she gonna tear this song up. And of course she did. What Do the Lonely Do at Christmas Time by Miss Patti LaBelle, released in 2007 off of Miss Patty's Christmas. And of course, you know the original Emotions joint. It's crazy. It's a maybe I love it because of the soul and the R&B that's in it. But what do the lonely do at Christmas time? I saw Miss Bethany out there. I'm not quite sure if you're still out there. What's up? I also want to say what's up to everybody out there on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, D Live, Twitch. Thank you to everybody who comes through and watches the replays. I definitely do appreciate all the love and support. What's going on? How you doing out there? Let us know where you're calling from. Drop it in the comments. Tag your friends. Let them know what we got going on inside the 4-1 podcast. Tonight, we have Alice from Read Into Something podcast. Now, Jason T. Davis, all the way from Los Angeles, I want to say, what's up? Leah, what's going on? Miss Rebel Jewel, how you doing out there? Gina Hassan, Candle Boutique and Co. What's up? Vashayla from Vashayla Jewels. What's up? Jonathan Martin Ives and his wife, beautiful Linda. Black Business Connection, thank you for making the connection. Mr. Trenton, New Jersey, Farrell Higginbotham, and Miss Sophie Davis, all the way from the UK. Thank you for all of your love and support. So, I want to, here we are, we talking about holidays and all of this stuff. And Unfortunately, sometimes this is a rough time for people. And I know I've asked this, but hell, some people might need some help. And maybe they didn't watch it the last couple times I talked about it, so we talking about it now, and it is what it is. So, what is the best medicine used to get over a heartbreak during the holidays? All kinds of stuff can go on, and some people might feel that they might need to be with somebody. They might deal with a heartbreak. I mean, I've dealt with it before. I actually dealt with a heartbreak on my actual birthday. That was one of the roughest Decembers I had to deal with, a few years back. But hell, you know, I got through it. We still here. So people out there who struggling with these heartbreaks during the holiday season, it is what it is. I get it. So people out there who've been through it, you've been through the struggle, you've been through the hurt, you've been through the pain. What was the medicine that you used to get through, during your heartbreak time during the holiday season? Only thing I could say, get around a bunch of friends, get around a bunch of family that, really are down for you and really going to feed you some real good stuff. Don't get around the people that are miserable and want to have you go and do something crazy. So get around people who are going to give you good, positive vibes, energy, love. Get your mind off of that situation. I asked Seisha the other night the same question, and her response was, you want to get over something, you need to get under somebody. So I don't know what you got to do, but that was her medicine. I'm giving you my medicine. Somebody out there, I think it was Miss Rebel Jewel, said food helps you get over a heartbreak. Whatever you do, there's medicine coming from all different areas. What is the best medicine used to help someone get over a heartbreak during a holiday season? No, what you think? We are going to reach out to Miss Alice and see what she has to say about it. What's up? Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, good,
Oh, my
good.
dog can hear you. She's barking.
I actually have to pause because this is the first time that we've actually had somebody from Portugal come into the 411
Okay.
podcast. So I want to say what's up to Portugal and thank you so much for coming in. We had France earlier this week, Portugal. So I really am trying to embrace this whole worldwide situation. So yeah, this is great. But
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
anyway, um, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
So my question from you is, where are you calling from?
I'm actually calling from southwestern Missouri. We're about halfway between Springfield and Branson, very touristy area.
I was just thinking of Branson the other day because I was, contemplating if I should go back or not. I went one time and it was kind of cold. I didn't like,
Yeah, it's very cold this time of year, very much.
the reason I actually went in April for Easter and it was kind of cold. But um, what I do is I ask everybody where they calling from, so I can check out the temperature and stuff because somebody like me, I want to be around warm climates. So I always ask everybody when they come on, where are you calling from? And I just sort of gauge things a little bit.
Well, you definitely do not want to be here right now because it's freezing.
So when is a good time to visit Missouri?
Usually around May and maybe the beginning of June. It gets pretty warm after that, and then we usually have pretty good falls. So anyway, anytime like late September, October, November usually is pretty good too.
Okay. November? Really?
Yeah, yeah. Actually, it's been pretty warm, and we've had warm up until about the last week. It's been off and on this week. So
when I went there, and I'm just saying, I don't know, maybe 15, close to 20 years ago.
oh. Uh-huh.
People were on those little, what are they called, Segway bikes or whatever?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Is that still popular?
I don't know so much. I haven't been down to Branson in a while. I haven't seen any of them, so I hope that kind of died out. That was weird.
Yeah. Because it was a lot of people just scooting around on those things.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, well, if somebody gets injured or runs somebody over, that's going to be a problem. Because I'm like,
it could be.
I don't think you really know how to drive that thing, but
No.
Okay. So, you have a podcast called Read Into Something Podcast. So, can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, I didn't start the podcast until September of last year, and I never even wanted to start a podcast, but I work in a public library, and my boss wanted to like kind of make our presence known a little bit more and see if we could reach more people because, we always need more people coming into the library. And so she's like, you need to start a podcast. And I assume she picked me because I have a bachelor's in mass communications. And also, I know very much she didn't want to do it. So she was like, can you do this? And I was like, I don't know if I can do this or not. I have like no training for this whatsoever because I was, I learned how to write for paper and newspapers and stuff. So I was like, well, let me just jump into it head first and we'll learn as we go. So instead of really talking about library stuff, like I do get into books and do some reviews and stuff. But I kind of like to just talk about what interests me. So we get a lot of history, and this year was Missouri's 200th anniversary of the state. So I did 4 episodes on state history, which was some of it was interesting and some of it was super boring, and a lot of it was really sad.
Sad.
But yeah. A lot of the the Civil War stuff was just awful stuff. And so we did that, and then I do a lot of the paranormal. I like the really weird things, and the area we're in has some really great like folk tales and stuff about monsters that live out here. So.
I want to hear a little bit about them, but go ahead, finish. But I want to definitely circle back around to that.
No, you definitely. Yeah, so we do that, and like the last couple episodes, I did UFOs, and we talked about like weird things. These people that just go missing, and we're trying to figure out if they're real missing cases or if they're just stories that people have made up. And a lot of it is just history, and we do a little murder. People love that murder podcast stuff, so we get in that.
Well, I am intrigued by a lot of these things, but I will tell you that I'm a scary individual. I watch so many scary movies, and I have put myself into some ridiculous situations that I would say, well, why did you do that for? So when people come on my podcast, I am curious. I like to dig into it a little bit, only to when I sign off of everything and I start walking around just to be looking and checking for my shadow. So even though I love it so much. So tell me something that, one of the most popular things that you spoke about when it comes to...
Actually, well, one of the most popular things was Mental Health Month. And I was surprised. I mean, that podcast got the most listens so far. And I kind of just went over some treatments that, in old-timey times, people thought would help with mental illness. And almost none of it helps. It really makes things worse.
What were some remedies that they thought would work?
They thought that like putting you in a bath full of ice water would make you think clearer. I don't know why. I think that would make you think much foggier.
Yeah.
And then they did the electric shock, which I don't know what that's doing to your brain, but I don't think it's anything good. Yeah, and then they just stick people in these wards, and it doesn't matter if you're just a little bit depressed or if you're totally non-functional as a person. They just put them all in wards together, and basically whatever happened. So it was really awful stuff.
Craziness.
Yeah. But that one got a lot of listens because, I think a lot of people deal with that, and especially in this last year, it's been really hard on our mental health. So that one has been the most popular, but a lot of the folklore stuff, people seem to be really into that kind of thing too.
So tell me one of the stories. I'm just very curious.
One of the ones I had the most fun with, I was talking about monsters that are in the Ozarks, which is the mountain range that we kind of live in, which is a very small mountain range, actually. But down in Arkansas, there's a town called Folk, Fouke, and they have this monster down there called the Folk Monster. And apparently it just kind of walks around and it doesn't really bother anyone, but people see it fairly often. Well, there's one story that happened, I think, in the 60s, and these people moved into a house. And one night, I think the husband and brother were out they're hunting something, probably raccoons or something. But they're out, and the woman is asleep on her couch, and something reaches through the window and grabs her. And of course, she freaks out. She's screaming and stuff. And about that time, the husband and brother come back, and they start shooting because they think they see something out there.
Mm-hmm.
And there are like claw marks on the side of the house, and the monster jumps on the husband and throws him down, and he gets injured, and he finally runs off. And I'm just like, I don't understand why that particular case, why would the monster attack those people? Because the rest of the time he's been peaceful. So what was it about these people? Or were they just attention seeking is my other thought. Like, I don't know, they just wanted to be on the news. But it happened in the 70s, and they made a movie out of it. I forget the name of the movie off the top of my head. But they made a movie, and it's so cheesy. But it made like $60,000, which was huge for back then.
I don't know any monsters that are peaceful. That's like
true, but
that. So that's, first of all, that's not going to work for me. Oh, don't worry, because the animal's not going to hurt you, or the monster's not going to hurt you. They're peaceful. No.
That's true, because most of them are, they're going to eat you.
Yeah, absolutely not. Oh man. And then I heard you say something about UFOs.
Yes, I don't believe in UFOs. I just start that right off.
Okay.
Which is weird because I believe in the monsters and I believe in the fairies and stuff, but I don't want to believe in UFOs.
You don't want to believe in them, or you just don't believe in them?
Well, there has to be something out there, right? We can't be the only thing. We just can't. But I don't want to believe in them the way people say they're little green men or little gray men or tall, skinny, giant head things. I'm like, I don't understand that. But yeah, so the last podcast I did was about we were investigating UFOs, and like there's a little town in Texas that basically their whole thing, the way they draw in people is by saying they have an alien grave in their cemetery. And I'm just like, okay. And they nicknamed him Ned, and I'm like, okay, well, why can't they exhume Ned and find out if he is an alien? And come to find out, the only way you can exhume a body is if the next of kin asks for that to happen, they come claim it. So I don't think we're going to be in touch with Ned's relatives to get him exhumed anytime soon.
That's an interesting fact. Now, just to claim it, so meaning that because that happens, that you can just dig up a body just for the hell of it, just so that someone can claim and say, hey, yes, I know this person? Or do you really got to go through some hoops in order to make that
happen? I would imagine you have to go through some hoops. I think you would have to have some good proof and a good reason to want to have them exhumed.
Yeah.
But they think there is something in that grave, but they don't know if it's animal, mineral, vegetable, what it is. So no one can actually prove there is an alien there.
Well, I'm sure something is in there, and if you go ahead and dig it up all these years later, you're going to get exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah.
I would stay the hell away from it. Oh, so I just want to say thank you so much for coming on. This is a great conversation. We have Alice on from Read Into Something podcast, all the way from Missouri. And I will tell you that when I was in Missouri, Branson, I decided to go on a little ride. I was like, let me just go ahead and go on a little ride. But it started to get a little bit too, I don't know the word. I don't want to say like country, because that's not really my idea of country. I've dealt with country in South Carolina, North Carolina, certain parts of Florida. But it was just very interesting. It was near, what is it? Is that Lake Table Rock?
That's right.
Yep, somewhere around there. And it was like these big walls almost, the way that they did the cement and how they had it go up on the sides. Man, I turned that car around real quick. Like, this ain't looking right for me. And if I keep going, it was just this windy road. And I said, nah, we're not doing that. Mm-mm.
Yeah, like it's pretty. There's some woolly places out there.
When I get scared during the daytime, I know that that's a problem, and I know to turn around. I've been in some places where I'm like, nope, don't feel comfortable. Let's turn this thing around. There's no good reason why you feel this way during broad daylight. Something's not right.
That's true. Yeah, there are places like that out here. Definitely. You're like, I don't think we should stay here long.
Well, after those stories that you told me, I will not be going back to Branson, Missouri. If I do, I ain't going by myself. So I was looking at your Instagram page. I know you were on Instagram, and couple things that I saw that I liked. A joke about the scarecrow. I thought that was pretty funny. So you do certain things like that, right? All throughout your page.
Yeah.
One thing that I'm really intrigued about, and I've always wanted to do, I saw that you rode that mechanical bull.
Yes. Yeah, that was last weekend. Yeah.
I've always wanted to ride them, and the reason why I wanted to ride them is because when I was younger, my mom always used to watch this movie called Urban Cowboy with John Travolta, and the way that they used to battle with the mechanical bull, I was like, yeah, I definitely want to do that when I get older. But I've never had an opportunity to do so. So I think one time when I was in Philly, I saw one, but it wasn't a good situation. But yeah, I definitely want to ride one.
Yeah, I'll be 40 next year, and I was like, I think if I don't do it now, I'm probably not going to be in a place where I should be doing that. I think maybe if you reach a certain age, you shouldn't try.
Was it hard to do?
It was very hard. It required like a lot of core strength, and from the very start, I was surprised by just how. I mean, and it's not moving that fast, but you have to think fast to keep up with it. It was exciting.
Does it go fast after a while, or?
I think he was trying to take it easy on me because he's going, I don't know what this lady is doing. I don't think she should be doing that.
Oh, so it is just like the movie where somebody is actually controlling it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Definitely have to look into that. So at this point, are you on any other social media platforms?
Yes, we're on Twitter. It's twitter.com/SCLC video. Or not video, I'm sorry, podcast.
Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to pull it up now. So what now?
SCLC podcast. So it's just like the Twitter page. We try to keep it simple.
Oh, I found you. Okay.
Yep.
And I'm following you on there. Okay, got you.
And then I also am on YouTube because I do craft videos for the library, and they're always a total and complete disaster because I usually end up burning myself on the glue gun, and I think people kind of just come to expect that from me now. So. But it's
I don't mean to laugh, but that's funny.
It's funny, actually. Yeah, it is. But it's SCLC videos. So.
Okay. And anything else?
Let's see. Yes, we're also on Facebook, and it's also SCLC podcast.
Okay. All right. Anything new coming for the new year for you?
Well, we just started season 2, and we're 8 episodes into that. And it's weird because I don't really have any reason why we would have separate seasons, except that I took a little break in between. But I keep them going, so it doesn't seem like I take a break. I just do everything all at once and get it out of the way. But we're going to do this year, I think, I wanted to go on a ghost hunt. Well, I think we're going to go to Eureka Springs, Arkansas, and try to do one down there, which should be fun. And like you were talking about horror videos, I don't watch horror movies because either I'm laughing at them because they're ridiculous or they're like way far out there, and it freaks me out. So we're going to do a review of The Purge. I've never seen that, so I'm like, okay, let's do something that's way out of the comfort zone.
I was going to say, so you are looking at stuff that is basically you're creating horror yourself. You don't like looking at horror movies, but basically you're creating mini ones.
Right. Yes.
I don't know.
I know, it's odd.
First time something makes a loud noise, I'm out of there.
Me too. Yeah. So we'll see how the ghost hunt goes because I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Couldn't do it, would not do it at all. Okay.
I think it'll be all right. I have done one before, and it was interesting. They let me hold the little thing that measures the electronic whatever that the ghost put out, and it beeps pretty often. So supposedly there was a ghost with us. It was wasn't bad. We did it in the dark too at night, but it wasn't bad.
There's this movie, I forgot what it's called, but basically that's what they do. And it causes all kinds of hell inside of a house, and they're going back and forth, and there's so many movies like that. But
Oh
so
yeah.
have you not seen any of those?
Paranormal Activity probably.
Maybe that's what it,
Closest, yep.
maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
I'm not sure,
I
but
love that because people thought it was real when it first came out. You know, they thought it was a true story, and then come to find out it was all fake.
well, now that you know that is possible,
Oh yeah,
you're still going to engage in this.
I think I will. Yeah, I'm gonna try. We'll see. I actually bought a doll, and I told people I was gonna like try to get it to talk to me. You know how they say dolls are haunted, and I'm like, I'm gonna do this, and my family is going, no, you get rid of that thing. And you know, the day it came to my house, I had a really bad car wreck. So they're like, see, don't buy haunted dolls.
A lot of things have energy in them.
Oh yeah, I agree.
So yeah, there are certain things that I would not partake in. Dolls would be one of them. There's certain pictures, and
Oh, that's true too.
one thing that I'm really have a problem with is statues.
Yeah, I can see that.
Huge,
There are a lot of them I don't like.
huge statues that resemble people.
Uh-huh.
Some animals too bother me, but yeah, I want no parts of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
I
like gargoyles, stuff like that. No, thank you.
I almost feel that the things would, maybe I just watched too many horror movies back in the day, but that they're just gonna start moving.
Yeah, they could. Yeah, I don't like that.
You said they could. What do you
They
mean
could.
they
You
could?
never know. Anything is possible, right?
I have an issue with statues. I don't need you to make it worse. They could.
Yeah, let me help you with that.
No, they can't. Oh man. One of the worst things for people who have issues with pictures is to go to Harry Potter World in Orlando. If you
Uh-huh.
have a fear of, old-fashioned pictures starting to move and talk,
Yeah, I wouldn't like that. No,
you're
that's
gonna
not right.
you're gonna experience that in Harry Potter's world. So yeah,
I'm gonna think twice about that one.
yeah, I don't do statues. Okay. So now this is a segment in the show where I basically flip it and I put my guest in a hot seat. And now it's time for you to just basically give me your opinion on these questions. I'm going to give you mine. And those of you out there who are listening and watching, you can go ahead and drop it in the comments and let us know what your opinions are. But this is Burning Questions. So we just talked about people who've gone through heartbreaks during the holiday season. What's the best medicine to help people? So, all right, so you've already been there. You had a situation, you had a breakdown, breakup, shake up. You're by yourself. So, how long should one wait before trying to start something new?
Um, it probably depends on who initiated the breakup and maybe why. Because if the other person cheated on you, you're going to be hurt by the way that they treated you, and it's probably going to be a blow to your confidence. I would say. There's no way I would jump right back into dating if someone did that to me. And I think if you've cheated on your partner, you're probably not going to wait. You're probably going to get right back in there because you don't have any respect for your person.
That is so true. You were doing it in the first place, so what would be the next thing?
Yep. So I don't think they're going to wait on that one. But it might depend on like how long you were dating. If if it's just casual, then why not go right back to the next thing or whatever? But if you were engaged, there's probably going to be a weight limit on that one. I don't think you jump right back. You read a lot of romance novels where they do that. They go on their own honeymoon because their spouse is going with them, and then they meet someone and fall in love. So it's the romance trope.
As if that ever really happens. Can you imagine it?
I don't think so. Does it happen? No, I don't think
so. Char, baby, what's going on? You say immediate, life is short. So you get into a situation, somebody breaks your heart, you say jump into it immediate. I had Seisha Nicole all the way from Florida. She said the best way to get over somebody is to get under somebody.
Maybe. That's what you have to do.
I said, well, that's one thing, but there are some people out there who've just been hurt so bad that the best way to get over somebody is to get under somebody, but they just keep getting under and getting under and getting under and getting under. Like, what are you searching for? What are you looking for?
That's
Um,
true.
mm-mm-mm. Okay, so life is
But some
short.
people don't like to be alone. So,
You know, that is so true. I used to be that person who, soon as I got out of something, I had to run to the next because I was afraid to be alone.
uh-huh.
And the reason why is because of what you see on TV and the way that, we have it all set up that to be successful, you have to be married, you have to be, have a house, you got to have this, you got to have all of that. So that was probably some of the crazy driving force for me is to be with somebody because you don't want to be alone because of what
That
everybody
makes sense.
else
Yeah.
thinks and
Well, I'm
says.
an introvert, so it doesn't bother me. I can be alone. That's just fine. But I'm
I'm
lucky because I've been married for 16 years. So,
Well, that's good. Congratulations.
yeah, thank you.
I am an introvert as well, right? But for some reason, I don't know how I got all twisted up where I felt like I had to be with somebody.
It happens though. I mean, it really does. Some people just feel that way. Sometimes you just need
But
it, and it's nice to have someone there that you can turn to.
but here's the thing: once I got somebody, then I would slip into some immediate depression because it was like, all right, well now you're here, but I don't want you to be here, and I want my alone time, and now I can't get rid of this situation, and then it just was a problem.
Yeah, you have to have a balance.
Yeah, yeah. So, all right, here we go with this one down. So this is another one. Lee Dennis, what's going on? How you doing out there tonight? So I've got the Stevie Wonder look tonight. Hmm. Well, thank you. Char Baby says, when I was younger, I always allowed time, but time waits for no one. Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
That's true too.
Hmm. Well, now I'm thinking Music Soul Child. Hmm. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Feeling good tonight. We having good vibes tonight. We have Alice from Read Into Something podcast tonight. All right, so now someone, let's say you get into the dating field, right? Start dating. You realize that somebody has gone through a divorce. Do you stay away from someone who has already been down that road and been divorced?
Like I said before, I read a lot of romance novels, and I work in a library, so that's fair enough, right? I mean, there's no reason why you can't have a second chance. I really don't understand. I mean, some people aren't lucky enough to find that first one the first time around,
Mhm.
and someone else says life is short. Why shouldn't you try to find someone that you're going to be compatible with? I mean, it goes back to if that person cheated on you, then I mean, or if the person you divorced cheated, then I don't know. A cheater, maybe can they change? I don't know because
Ooh,
I don't
that's a
have
good
experience
question.
with that, but so I'm not sure. But
Can a cheater change? That is a good question. Um, hmm. I would say yes, they can. Anybody can change. The thing is that they need to want to change.
yes,
For example, let's say that they get into a relationship, right? And the person's like, "Well, you're doing too much. You're giving me vibes that you might be cheating or whatever." So the person would stop doing what they're doing, change up their act because they are afraid of losing the person.
mm-hmm.
And the only reason why they stopped and changed up the act because the other person might have questioned something, might have gave them a little inclination that, yeah, you doing a little shifty stuff over there, and I'm gonna, be out in a minute. So they're changing because of that other person, not somebody that says, oh wow, I'm going to get into this relationship, I'm going to get into this situation, let me stop what I'm doing now because I really care for this person and I love this person. I
Mm-hmm.
feel that if you box somebody in a corner and you give them that ultimatum and you put on your aggressiveness of, either this or that, the person's going to stop short term. But in my experience in my life, They only stop short term just to appease you. But after a
Right.
while, that alter ego kicks in and it starts knocking at that door and say, "Hey, listen, remember when we used to do this? Do you remember when we used to can do that? You can't now because of this person over here said that we can't hang out anymore. So remember this time, remember that time, and it'll chip away at you slowly but surely. And I truly do believe that that cheater or that whatever it is that you were running away from eventually comes back.
Hmm.
Do you believe
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, I agree with that.
So for people out there, because I'm starting to, get this a little bit. It took me a long time, but I think I'm on my way. So for people out there who truly want to develop that great relationship and to be, what do they say with your best friend? I think that you have to truly be somebody's friend and give them all the good, the bad, and the ugly. Say, listen, this is me. Take me as I am. Every single situation that you got going on, this is this, and that's it. And we're going to be friends until we get this situation under control to
Yep.
realize if we need to date. And then that way, the person's going to know everything. They're going to know if you're a cheater. They're going to know this. They're going to know what all the stuff that you do. And if they're still there after all of that, then there you go.
Yeah, I think you have a better chance probably then. I mean, why keep secrets and have all that closed off? Because if they find out later on that you've hidden that, I mean, that little distrust in there.
My thing is today, please run away from me. Run away from me immediate so that I know that you were never the first person. I knew that you were never the
Right.
person to begin with. Just run
Yeah,
away.
don't waste my time.
Yeah. Okay. So let's flip it a little bit. Um, do you think that it's appropriate and does it make sense to give 2 weeks notice, when it comes to, resigning from your job?
Um, I think it's probably going to depend on the job and how they have treated you. Because if you go into a job and it's, and I'm not saying not every job is perfect. It's true, you're going to make compromises. But if you go into a job and they just treat you like you're not worth the pay that you're making, then if it's not working out for you, and if you have another opportunity and you can take it, then by all means, just walk away. Why waste your
Really?
time on that too? But if it's a good job
Mm-hmm.
and you respect the people that you work with and they respect you, then yeah, why not stay and see if you can maybe help them find a replacement or train a replacement or whatever.
Well, some people do it just because it's principle, I guess, and
Mm-hmm.
that's just what they're used to, where they were brought up that way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know. I mean, the young generation nowadays, they don't give notice of anything. A lot of
That's true.
companies complain about the whole ghosting thing, and that's just the way that they do things. So, with that being the case, and this is, what the younger generation is doing and what they want, I just wanted to know, do you think it's still appropriate to do so? You get someone who doesn't do it, and they're like, whatever, today's my last day. Bye.
I have done that. I got laid off one time, and they said you can stay the next 2 weeks, because we feel bad for you that we laid you off. And I was like, that's not happening. And I didn't call in or anything. I just said,
Did
that's
they
it. I'm done.
did they give you money when they laid you off and said you can stay,
No,
you can go?
no, no.
Mm,
They just said this is it. You can earn that paycheck for 2 weeks, or And I think they really did expect me to come in and keep earning the money. And I was like, that's not happening because you didn't respect me enough. They laid me right before Christmas, and I'm like, you guys didn't even respect me to hold me through Christmas. And it wasn't a money issue on their end or anything. It was just, I think they just didn't like me.
mm. I've had it in certain situations where some people were asked to leave early, like they put in their notice, but
Mm-hmm.
then certain people were like, "Nah, you can leave now. It's not even worth it. It's not worth
Yeah.
the time, the energy, and nothing. You can leave now." So okay, so I guess it depends on the situation. I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, if it was really somebody that you know, or a situation or a job or a boss that I cared about, I most certainly would do the 2 weeks notice. But if they were being shady, doing some jacked up stuff, which
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that happens in certain situations, man, I ain't getting nothing. I mean, I've done it too, where I just
Yeah. I would get out of that. It's not worth it. It's not worth your sanity, though.
Have you ever had a situation where you exited a job or a company in a disruptive way?
Oh gosh, no. Because I'm an introvert and I don't want to call attention to myself.
Listen, I'm I'm that same way too, but there have been some times where I had to let people know before I left.
Yeah, I can see that. There's been times when I wanted to do that, but I just don't call attention to me because I'm just going to slide right out like I was never here.
So with you saying that you're an introvert, do you find that you let stuff slide? Things that you probably would want to speak up on, you just let it go?
Oh gosh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely I do. I wish I had, the balls to say sometimes what I was thinking because
But
there are times when it needs to be said, but I can't do it.
well, how do you feel about that though afterwards? That's probably not a good feeling.
Well, sometimes I just tell myself, I'm like, it's a fight I wasn't going to win anyway, and I know because you can't argue with stupid people. They are never going to see it your way. So sometimes it's actually a relief to just be out of it.
Mm, that is so true. I remember a couple people at my previous employer. They would always say, "You can't fix stupid."
Yep.
I had a couple people that would say that. That's a good way to look at it. I guess that saves you some aggravation by just not getting into it. But sometimes I'm like, I just gotta say something.
There are times when I have said some stuff, but then usually it's one of those cases I get written up after I say it because I shouldn't have said it. But I feel better after I do it.
You get written up. Oh my goodness.
It's like, well, now we're clear on the subject, so at least we have that.
See, that's usually when somebody gets cussed out after I get written up. I remember the last time, I've never really been written up too much, but I remember the last time I definitely did have to tell my boss off because they were part of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I only got written up like maybe once when I was real young, 16. And I had a great track record after that. So by the time I got written up when I was damn near 35 years old, I was like, yeah, no, F that shit. Like, excuse me. I'm sorry. I mean, I was trying to keep it clean tonight, but sorry, but that just slipped out. But yeah, no.
Well, I don't mind. But no, I mean, there like comes a point in your life though too where you just get enough, and you're like, well, whatever. I'm done with this. So, and I'm old enough now to just say this is what it is, and I'm done with it. So there's that too.
Yep. I agree with it. Well, I just want to say this was fun.
Uh-huh.
Thank you so much for coming on all the way from Missouri. What's the place again?
We're halfway between Springfield and Branson. It's called Crane.
Like a C,
No one's ever heard of it.
crane with a C or a K?
With a C, just like the bird, Crane.
Yeah, I never heard of that before, but okay.
Yeah,
Now,
it's tiny.
do you get the alerts like with the weather where you have to like run for shelter, or is that more Arkansas?
Oh no, yeah, we get a lot of that. We had one last week, so yeah.
And you get the large alarms that go off?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we were at home. We just actually came back from Oklahoma, and I'm like, oh, it's storming. It doesn't look good. And we go home, and then of course the sirens are going off. But where we're at, we're kind of on a hill, so we get wind, but it's not too bad. And sometimes we just go stand out on the porch and watch it. Like, well, there's nothing else to do. Why should we hide?
Now, you just reminded me something about the hills. This is another thing that I didn't appreciate. So when first of all, I'm only used to like maybe 3 lane highways. If I can remember correctly, it was more than 3 lanes. Might have been four, five, six. Is that accurate?
Yeah, sometimes they are out there, yeah. Not really in Branson, but more towards Springfield,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So
Yeah.
the lanes expanded. That was one thing.
Yes.
But then the second thing was I'm used to safety. We get the little ridges in the road that will let you know if you move too close over. And there's also things that we have called guardrails.
Mhm.
A lot of hills up and down with the 6 lanes, big tractor trailers crossing in and out of the lanes, but there are no guardrails. So
Yeah.
somebody like me is like, now if something goes seeing plenty of accidents, all kinds of crazy stuff all the time. Happens all the time on the turnpike and stuff here in Jersey, New York. I'm
Yeah.
thinking to myself, so now if there's a major accident, major catastrophe, there is no guardrails. So I guess these cars are just flying right off the cliff.
Yeah, I haven't really heard much about that. Usually, because around here, a lot of the highways are on the flat, so it's not too bad. You just kind of go off on the shoulder and wherever out there.
But wait,
But I haven't really heard a lot of those.
but wait a minute. See how you didn't say, oh no, Laren, there's guardrails, there's safety. You agreed that there is no guardrails or no safety. Why
On
is
the hills, yeah, a lot of them there are not any, and it's like, why aren't there any guardrails here?
Can I tell you that when I was driving, I got nervous. So when someone else was driving, I really got nervous. My hands immediately started to sweat because it was a real major downpour, and there's all these tractor trailers. And the only thing that my crazy ass could think of, if something goes wrong, we're going off this cliff. So now the next thing that I have to say is how many people just disappear and you don't know. Let's say you're driving home in the middle of the night, you fall asleep, and you drive your ass right off the cliff. Nobody knows where you're at.
No, I don't know how they would find you. I mean, well, these days with GPS, it's probably easier, but probably back in the day, I would say, yeah, people would just disappear down in a gully and you didn't find them.
Can I tell you that my hands are sweating right now thinking about it?
I don't blame you because some of those gullies are really, really deep.
Oh man, that was interesting. Like in their hills, like straight up, down, round and round.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and there's no safety nets. Crazy. But okay, yeah. I don't know if we'll be visiting Missouri anytime soon.
Well, come when it's not rainy, definitely, because the rain scares me too. So yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you. And Read Into Something podcast. Everybody go ahead and check that out.
I appreciate you having me. It's been really fun.
Very good. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you too.
Merry Christmas. What is it? Happy Hanukkah. Everything.
Yes, all of it.
All right. Take care.
You too. Bye.
Bye. So that was fun. We had Miss Alice from Read Into Something podcast. I just want to say that I'm so thankful for everybody who came on tonight, whichever direction that you came in. We had people from Portugal on TikTok. That was amazing. Blings, Sling, how are you doing out there on TikTok? I want to say Ariana's Closet. We had Mr. Nicholas that showed up tonight. Miss Lee Dennis. It's all on the cars with Kathy. I think I saw Lavella Benton out there on Facebook. So thank you all so much to everybody for joining. People out there on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, DLive, Twitch. I just want to say thank you so much. If you'd like to support the 401 podcast or Reading Between the Lines, there's a couple things that you can do. You can text the keyword remix to 609-738-0611. Again, that's 609-738-0611. And you will get a pre-order link for my new book, My Inspirations, Volume 1.5, Deliberation Remix Journal, a 30-day transformational journey towards a healthier mindset. Go ahead and get that pre-link. And anything that you purchase will obviously help support the 401 podcast. You can also click all of the links above my social media platforms. And again, I'm thankful to be on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, DLive, Twitch. Click that link above all of my social media platforms and you can go inside of Karma's Paradise exclusive and you can get an autographed copy of my new book. You can also get an ebook version of my first book. You can get a poster and you will also get an exclusive t-shirt made by Kay Cole from Karma's Paradise, strictly for the promotion of my book, Remix Journal. I have one more virtual book signing, which is tomorrow, Sunday, at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with my friend Neek Austin from Coral LLC. Again, that's going to be on Instagram Live tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at Coro.llc. So the handle name is at Coro, Coro .llc. I will see y'all tomorrow at 5 p.m. And then, of course, we're going to be right back here on a 4-1 podcast at 10 p.m. And we have Survivor Voice podcast coming on tomorrow. I'm sure we're going to have some great conversation tomorrow. Definitely something that you do not want to miss. And I just want to say thank you all to everybody for joining. And of course, I have to thank my executive producer, my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, for allowing me to come out here and give you all the 4-1 podcast one more time in life. Because without him, none of this would be possible. I wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here. So I have to give credit where credit is due. And I just want to say thank you, thank you. So I will see y'all tomorrow at 10 p.m. right here, 4-1 podcast. Have a good night. Good night, y'all. Good night. Good night. See ya. Have a good night.